Before we get right into this video, I just want to tell y'all about the book that I have, the most recent ebook that I released back in March called Stories to Read While Sailing the Deep Blue Sea. Link in the description box below. Pick up my latest ebook, Stories to Read While Sailing the Deep Blue Sea. Such a long title, but I'm gonna try to make this announcement short about it. So it's a book, it's a short story book, so that's why it's an ebook, but it's a short story book with just a collection of short stories. 3 short stories that I written while I was in school, and I just thought, hey, let's make this book happen. So if you're a fan of short stories that range from the genre of drama, romance, and mystery. Those are the 3 genres. If you are fans of that, then by all means check out the book. Or if you just want to support, or if you just want something to read, because reading is still important, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're watching the video right now. You might be listening to this ad on audio, but reading is still important. And you can start your reading journey by supporting me. Link in the description box below. Once again, stories to read while sailing the deep blue sea. By yours truly. All right, this next topic here, we are going to talk about Taraji P. Henson and her outcry for how she is, and I believe she meant other actors, but she mentioned herself. So I'm going to say she, how the pay in inequity, is that the right word? You know what I'm saying? The pay inequity had her almost wanting to stop acting, because she felt as though she wasn't getting the money that she deserved. Before I get into that, though, I do have to say this. I meant to say this in the first topic, but I will say this here. I apologize for the wonky audio issues as far as the background music for the last episode that I did, last week's episode. Spotify through podcasts, that's where I edit these episodes, and they still have the issue where if you try to replace one song, like one background song with another one, instead of removing the first song, they overlap the other song that you put on there with the first song that you put, and then it just sounds weird. So I should have been, better at noticing that, because that has happened in the past. Going forward, I definitely will take note of, stripping the audio, at least, or doing a better job at stripping said audio, so I can have the background music that I want. For those who are video watchers, you're like, there's no background music. Well, there's no background music for the video watchers anyways. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not getting background music. That's for the audio listeners. You know what I'm saying? I got to differentiate things and give certain perks to, certain things. Y'all getting these videos for free, but you're not getting that extra editing work when it comes to background music. If that's something that you want, become an audio listener, or, if videos ever become a Patreon exclusive, or, a paid content exclusive again, then that's something you'll get. So there's that. So I'm speaking to the audio listeners when I made that, when I was talking about that. But anyways, Taraji P. Henson. So for those who don't know, Taraji P. Henson, she did an interview, and in one of the interviews she did, she got very emotional and pretty much, again, like I stated, was talking about quitting acting simply because she felt that she wasn't getting the money that she deserved. An issue that other actors have brought up in the past, female actors especially, black female actors especially, one being Monique. Monique, the comedian, the actor, has brought that issue up. She brought up her issue with Netflix. She brought up her issue with Lee Daniels. She brought up her issue with Oprah. She brought up her issue with others as well, and felt that she was not getting she wasn't getting compensated the way that she believed that she should, being who she is within the industry. Now, a lot of the same people and just a lot of people in general that I see supporting Taraji P. Henson did not support Monique. And hence why I'm doing this video. I'm not doing the video to update you all on, the outcries and this, that, and the third. Although, of course, I am going to share my thoughts on all of that. But I just want to point out the hypocrisy and the reasons as to why I believe that is the case. Now, I supported Monique. I still support Monique. And in my support for Monique, I do support Taraji P. Henson and her, if she wants to continue to, fight against this this issue that, she and others have said is an issue. I do support them. What I don't support is hypocrisy, and I don't support people choosing whether they're going to, it doesn't really matter if you choose who you're going to side with or not, but I don't support hypocrisy, and I'm going to call it out. A lot of the reasons that I've seen, the same reasons I've seen people, because I'm not the only one who pointed this out, by the way. This is something that I actually pointed out weeks ago prior to me talking about it on this podcast. But, this wasn't a topic then. But nonetheless, it's a topic now. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to reiterate what I said weeks ago. I asked the question, why the jump for Taraji P. Henson but not Monique? Other people have asked that question as well, and some of the responses that I've seen stem from this. Taraji P. Henson is fighting for all actresses or all actors. Just like her. She's fighting not just for herself, but for her peers. Taraji B. Henson is absolutely fighting for herself. Within making that argument, she is indeed fighting for other people as well. It's literally the same thing Monique was doing. So I don't want to hear, Monique was only caring about her pockets and not anyone else. And in fact, Monique made it clear multiple times that she was doing this for others, not just herself. So for this idea that Monique is selfish for making an argument, the same exact argument that Taraji P. Henson years later is now making, your bias is actually being exposed. Maybe it's a bias because you don't like Monique as an entertainer and you like Taraji P. Henson. Maybe it's a bias because you don't like the way Monique looks and you like the way Taraji P. Henson looks. Maybe it's a bias because you like Taraji P.'s personality and you don't like Monique's personality. But don't sit up here and try to argue that these two women, although they made the same argument, were fighting for two totally different reasons. They're fighting for the same reason. They made the same argument and they're fighting for literally the same reason. And I'm not saying it's wrong for Taraji P. to argue her sake, or for Monique, or for anyone for that matter, to argue for themselves. It's called advocating for yourself. And those are times where it's pretty much okay to be selfish. Because within advocating for yourself, you then advocate for others as well. You then make it so that other people can have a blueprint and seeing, especially if you are successful and whatever you're fighting for, if you win that fight, people can point to you and say, this person did it, I can too. So there's nothing wrong with Taraji P. or Monique or anybody else saying, I deserve more money. If they feel as though they deserve more money and better pay and better treatment and all this other stuff that they're arguing for. But don't sit up here and lie and say that Taraji P is out to help others and not just herself. She might be, but so was Monique. And to my knowledge, Taraji P only mentioned herself. She didn't mention anybody else. And Taraji P is absolutely not wrong for doing so. Because again, it's called advocating for yourself. But don't lie to yourself and try to make it seem as though, oh no, she was only being nah. F that. Stop the BS. Another argument that I've seen is, speaking of the personalities, people said that Monique's attitude toward the situation was wrong, and they couldn't support her because they didn't support how she went about going to, going about her fight. This is coming from black people, by the way. I've seen black women and black men make that argument, and it's really, really, it's troubling when I see both do it. But when I see black women make that argument that it's your attitude, knowing the stigma of black women's attitude, yikes. I'm gonna leave it right there. Yikes. But that's more hypocrisy. That's some self-hatred right there, but it's yikes. Of all things, it's a yikes moment, because it's like, really, you are saying this? I would expect that from somebody else, some other type of skin color. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't expect that from you, but you said it. Nonetheless, you said it. So I'm going to take that as that's how you feel. But branching off of his argument that, Monique just has a bad attitude. Taraji P is also known for not necessarily having the best attitude either. Taraji P not only plays characters who are very, let's just say, bossy, she's known for having that type of attitude as well. Let's not act like she's not. This is a woman I was just talking about months ago, prior to this situation, who had this entitlement feeling that she doesn't have, at her big age, that she doesn't have to stay faithful to any man who might want to pursue a relationship with her simply because that man doesn't come instantly with a wedding ring. You don't think that woman who feels entitled to have men who want to pursue her, they have to stay faithful to her, but she doesn't have to stay faithful to them unless one of them shows up with a wedding ring? You don't think that woman has an attitude problem? I'm not here to argue that Taraji P nor Monique don't have moments when they showing they butt, when they showing they behind. You know what I'm saying? When they don't have, moments where it's like you seem like an a-hole. They don't have a-hole moments. I am not saying that is not the case for Monique nor Taraji P. But again, the lies y'all tell yourselves, or the lies y'all telling other people, and then internally tell yourselves, no. In this situation, Taraji P and Monique are 1A and 1B. You have one woman who is arguing for herself, which externally, not internally, but externally was fighting for other people years ago, making those arguments. And now you have a woman at the tail end of 2013. Oh, not 2013, 2023, my bad. You know what I'm saying? But at the tail end of 2023, make the same argument and is internally fighting for herself, but externally is going to benefit other people, her peers within her field. And now again, we have two women who have moments that are not that don't make them look like the nicest people. I'm not saying they're terrible people, but they both have moments that don't necessarily make them look like the nicest people. So again, if your whole thing with Monique, your whole lack of support for Monique was, well, she's not a nice person and I can't support her because she's not a nice person, Taraji P has moments where she's not a very nice person. She sounds very entitled, very bossy, very B-wordy. But you jumped to support her. You ignored all of those flaws. You ignored all of Taraji's flaws, but you couldn't do the same for Monique. And my question is why? I have my assumptions. I have my answers as to why I believe that is the case. But I'm asking you. I'm asking you, you being the individual who did it. Why? I didn't get a response, as I often do when I ask these questions. And by the way, if you hear noise outside, I'm in the Northeast, as many of y'all already know. This snowstorm, it is snowing nonetheless, but this snowstorm that we are reported to having, the snow plowers are out right now. So they out here, they doing their thing. They cleaning the streets to the best of their ability. People are cleaning the sidewalks to the best of their ability. So if you hear that noise out there, that's the snow plowers. But we gonna plow on through. I'm sorry, I had to say it. But in all seriousness, like, with all these questions that I ask, I don't necessarily get the response, but I often find that other people do get the responses for whatever reason the case is. So I respond to other people's responses. You know what I'm saying? And I still think it's stupid. Whether you respond directly to me or someone else, I think it's stupid if the response is stupid. Let me put it that way. Not it's stupid that you don't respond to me, but you respond to someone else. But it's stupid that the response is stupid. If the response is stupid, you put it that way. All right. And those two responses were the two main ones that I saw. And I think they're dumb. And like I said, I'm going to call out hypocrisy. You're being a hypocrite. One woman does the exact same thing years ago and she is demonized for it. Another woman cries and is, again, known for having an attitude problem. And is also doing this for selfish reasons. Good selfish reasons, but nonetheless selfish reasons. But you're letting it slide. And I want to know why. The truth. You know, especially to those who make arguments about fat phobia being a thing, right? But you're not supporting Monique. She was the angry, fat, black woman when she made her argument, and Taraji P being of a lesser size gets your support for making the same argument, for having the same emotional response. Now, Taraji, there are moments Monique did cry, but she was emotional nonetheless, even when she wasn't crying when she made her claims, you know? And it wasn't even all the time she was emotional. There were times where she was very calm in making her claim. That one clip that we see of Taraji, she's very emotional. And I'm not saying she's wrong for being so. She has every right to feel the way that she feels. You know? She has every right to express her emotions the way that she did. In a healthy way like that. But what I'm saying here is, if someone has to cry to get your support, that's weird. That says more about your weird ass than it does about the other individual. No one should have to cry or be seen on camera crying just to get your support. Also, it's dangerous because anybody could just put on some crocodile tears, especially if you are a phenomenal actor, like a Taraji P or a Monique. Now, I'm not saying that they were putting on crocodile tears, but I'm just saying, if you are of a caliber actor like they are, you can turn on and off them tears and make it look real. You've done it plenty of times in movies and TV shows. So it comes naturally to you. And if you are fooled by that, again, that's dangerous. That's all I'm saying here. So I ain't got much else to say other than, like, y'all check y'all hypocrisy, and I'm calling it out. It's simple as that. If you got a problem with it, you know, new year, but the same response. You know what I'm saying? Respond back with something of valid, with validity, and you will get me to either shut up or see things your way. But when I see moments like this where people are being hypocrites and thinking that that's a valid response, no. No. You're not getting away with that. Not over here, not on this side. You know what I'm saying? I don't break into the, and I'm doing some flexing right now before I leave, but I don't break into one of the top 100 best news, and this is what Good Pods, categorize my podcast as news, but you don't break into that being a kiss ass. You know what I'm saying? You probably do, but that's not what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And I had to flex because I was just flexing, broke into one of the top 100 news podcasts for the week. Or the week that I am recording this episode. So, yeah, shout out to Good Pods. Thank y'all for notifying me on that. Thank y'all for listening on Good Pods for those who do. And thank y'all for supporting me as well. This is not the end of the episode. I just wanted to flex that real quick. I should have done that at the beginning, but I'm doing it now. Anyways, we will get into the last topic, so we're going to get into a commercial break, and stay tuned.